Hey guys, would you like to be filled with hope? I think you will when I describe this definition of hope. I imagine what the opposite of this would be. Hope is described as an optimistic state of mind, an expectation of positive outcomes with respect to the event and circumstances of one's life and the world at large. An optimistic state of mind. You know, it says an expectation of positive outcomes. Don't we so often have an expectation of negative outcomes in our life? I remember my mum asked me when I was young, she said to me, she must have heard me complaining. And she said to me, you know, is a glass that's half there's water in it, half the way up? Is that half empty or half full? And I default answered her without thinking about the consequences, and then knowing it was the wrong answer I gave her. I said half empty. And I was like, oh yeah. Probably she was thinking I should say half full. Two ways of looking at the world. But imagine having that optimistic state of mind, that expectation. It's a big thing that life will work out well for us in some way. Well, the Bible touches on hope a lot. It describes where hope comes from. Romans 15 verse 4, I read this morning. It said that everything was written in the past, in the scriptures, was written to teach us, so that through the endurance taught in the scriptures and the encouragement they provide, we might have hope. I have a little bit of a Greek translation here. It says that we might hold fast to and cherish hope. Hope comes from what is taught to us in the scriptures. If you feel depleted in hope, that you're not optimistic, you don't have that expectation of things working out well, then it may be that you're not filled with the Word of God. If you are filled with the Word of God, you may see the connection that your hope will grow. One of the things I was thinking about this morning when I thought about the need for the Word in my life, and I shared it with someone yesterday. Do you ever remember when you were waiting on a phone call? It was a girl you liked, a boy you liked. It was that employer that was going to maybe hire you for a job or get you on a course. You know, when you're sitting anxiously waiting on a message coming in, how excited you get, because you cannot wait to hear from them. And if you don't hear from them, you're despondent and discouraged. I remember this so many times in my life when you're just waiting on that call. It's going to change everything, good or bad even sometimes. But I felt a little bit like this is the way we should view God speaking to us, the Word of God. Is that it's like we're waiting on that call, but we don't have to wait on that call. We can pick this up and hear from God every single day. If we hear from Him every single day, what's the outcome? We will be filled with hope. Now, I know there's some things in the scriptures that are difficult to understand, some things that seem negative because the Bible is very real, and you may need to seek some help to understand sometimes. But if you're reading particularly the New Testament, it's full of the life and times and teachings of Jesus. Believe me, when you read about Him and how you're supposed to live your life in reference to Jesus, you will be filled with hope. Set yourself this goal, this plan. Let me start reading the scriptures every day, digging in, and just see how my hope levels go. See how my optimism changes. You'll notice this when you're communicating with others. I notice now as a church leader, I'm talking to people, and sometimes I find myself communicating in a way that I have to sometimes apply to myself, because you gain wisdom and optimism and hope from the scriptures. Let me know how you go with this. Dig in and read the Word of God daily and see how it changes your optimism and your expectation of positive circumstances and outcomes.